Hello, everybody. Welcome. Gonna turn that down. Hi. Hello.
Hello, Dan.
How
Hello,
are
everyone.
you all doing? We good?
Hello.
Good.
Yeah,
Hello.
I think so.
This is
Amazing.
the end of the end.
The end of the end. Maybe it's the start. Is it the start of the end?
The end is the beginning is the end.
That's it.
Start
very
at the
true.
beginning.
Very, very true. Hi. Welcome. First off, because we're consummate professionals, we're going to check that you can hear us all.
I've never consummated anything.
Wow.
Can they hear us?
Can they hear us?
Can you hear us?
Everyone
Hear
has,
us.
everyone has fled the chat. I mean, we can just have a nice natter amongst ourselves, and anyone who stumbles across this video
Yep.
can just see 6 people wordlessly mouthing off at each other.
They can hear us. I've checked the stream. We're good.
I mean,
They
that's
can.
Whee.
Right, we are rolling them. So, hi, I'm DM Dan. This is the Explorers of Elsewhere.
Oh, good to meet you.
Tavern Between Dimensions live stream. Hi, how are you all doing?
Yeah.
what are we doing tonight, Dan?
We are...
Same thing we do every night, Pinky.
We are raising a glass of finest beverage
I mean, yes, but also
to commiserate the passing of the first campaign of the Explorers of Elsewhere multiverse thing that I'm doing. Is that what we're doing? We're going to talk about campaign
campaign
1, aren't we?
debrief. Campaign
Genuinely thought you were going to say Henry Kissinger.
Yeah, we're going to have a natter about everything that has been, and maybe things that will be. So yes, we've wrapped up our first campaign. Year 1 has concluded. We did it. I would say we all made it through to the end, but yes, joining me are our plucky adventurers, Anton as Victor and Frinka, Tim as Galena, Carl as Comstock, Lane as Milia, and last but not least, Meg, just right down there as Dryadia. Hi, how you doing, Meg? You good?
Hello. Yes, I'm definitely Meg.
Hi, Meg. Hi, definitely, Meg.
Meg, you look really different.
Hi, Meg.
Yes, Meg.
I've done something with my hair.
It's the lighting. It's the background.
Yeah, I was about to say, did you get a haircut?
All the
'Cause
lighting.
Yeah,
it's
you
really
did.
good.
I straightened it.
Yes.
Ah, there we go. That's what it
There we
is.
are.
That's what it's clearly.
Looking positively radiant.
Cheers.
So, yes, we're here to have a little natter, have a little chat, see how things went, and by all means, gonna any questions coming from the chat that you want to ask the players now that the campaign is wrapped? Please feel free. But yes, unfortunately, Meg couldn't join us tonight, so we've got our Meg auxiliary stand-in stepping in. So hello, Julia. Thank you for joining.
You spoiled it now. They thought I was Meg.
It's not Meg.
I couldn't keep the ruse going.
Yeah, now you've said it. Just
Dan,
to
have you been
veil
false
this
advertising
clear.
to us?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch the entire VOE now just to make sure that this isn't how it
Just to
always
make sure.
is.
You definitely should.
No, but
yes, it's been a ruse all along.
I was not in the campaign at all, but I have watched the campaign, so
Yes.
hopefully I can say
Yes.
offer some
Precisely.
congratulations and encouragement regarding
Precisely.
it.
So
So Julia, how do you think Badger did this season?
I think she was a background character. She didn't have a lot to say, but I'm really pleased she was there.
yes.
Good. Well spoken.
The unseen viewer. So we have finished the campaign. I've got a couple of questions. So first off, for the inaugural Explorers, and let's start with to the side just here, Anton.
Yes.
Victor. The first question: was your player character's journey what you expected? Did it resolve as you thought it might before you started episode 1?
Ooh.
How did that journey pan out?
So, Victor was always going to be this enigmatic hunter character that travels in the dark. I didn't quite expect him to be as kooky and crazy as he was. That was just I added that at some point. Yeah, Victor and his shrooms, And yeah, he went on a bit of a dark path with the whole Yakov thing. His Jekyll and Hyde identity bit.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
I-
everybody, spoilers for campaign 1 if you haven't finished.
This is the debrief for campaign
Yes.
1.
If
Yes.
this is the first
By the
DOE
way-
video that you're watching, first off, I
Big
appreciate it.
spoilers.
But there's at least 20 episodes that you need to catch up on first. But don't worry, you can
I
watch this as a
appreciate
vlog
that.
later.
Dan, what kind of person clicks on the wrap-up video first?
You never know.
It's the person
Lads.
you see in a Waterstone just flicking to the end of the book and then putting it back on the shelf.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in the first episode that Victor appeared in, the party threatened to kill him, and surprisingly, in the last episode where they had the opportunity to kill him, they actually didn't kill him.
Yes.
So I guess that was the evolution of the character.
I mean, Victor had a moment, didn't he? There was a slight paradigm shift that I think everyone really really appreciated. Wouldn't we all agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what the others have to say about
Yeah.
the Victor plot twist.
Yeah. Shall maybe we come back to that? We'll come back to that.
Yeah,
We'll come
go
back
for
to I suspect we'll be able to come back to that. But yes, I remember you kind of putting forward a very super theory of the Batman kind of character, and then he just ended up being the drunk uncle at the wedding.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it.
But something, Victor. Yeah.
Yes.
But what I really liked is that wasn't all he was. It didn't stop there. It's like it started as drunk uncle at the wedding, which was a bit unexpected, and then there was a lot more to it. I think that's why it worked so well.
Yes, absolutely. Moving on, Tim.
Hello.
How did Galina's arc surprise you, or was it as all things should be? Was it perfectly balanced?
It surprised me by being more successful than I anticipated, to be honest. I thought, given what she's been up to, it could have gone an awful lot worse.
Yeah.
She kept her limbs, she got her kid back, it all actually kind of worked out in the end.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, you had there was a bit of a stumble with the crystallized hand, but you took that in your stride, didn't you? I don't think you only had to make 2, I think, come the end, but you didn't at any point allow that to crystallize any further.
No, and I think, as far as Galina was concerned, she wasn't that bothered about her own life for quite a while by that point. So the only issue with that is it getting in the way of her research.
That's true.
Tim, what was the origin for Galina? I'm quite interested to see how you came out with the character because she's very unique.
So I basically originally I just like the alchemist subclass, so I wanted to do something with that, and I thought, the classic mad scientist kind of trope is something that is a lot of fun and something I wanted to bring to it. And I was looking at the races and I thought, okay, well, gnomes are cheeky little weirdos, so I'll slap that in there. And then the rest just kind of conglomerated itself, along with a good old spoonful of tragedy, which I always love to just pop in there.
Everyone loves a bit
for
of
fun.
Yes, absolutely.
It's the plot. It's the plot bait, isn't it? The GM bait. The tragedy of the GM bait.
Yeah. And the fear of heights thing is just something that I made up in the spur of the moment that stuck, which was fun.
I mean, yeah.
And her name? Galina. Because I hear Galina, it makes me think of chicken in Spanish, but that's not right.
Oh, it's a type of rock that is poisonous.
Oh.
So,
not
So
Spanish
when
rock
it
and
stings you,
she poisons people. Poisonous rock. There you go.
Oh,
Well, okay.
that's
there
cool.
you go.
I like
Fair
that.
play, fair play. I really appreciated the character Galina. It really dawned on me just how terrible the poison damage type is in D&D 5th edition.
Yeah,
good.
they did
If you
highlight
yes.
it, didn't it?
everything is immune to poison. Which, yeah, but luckily, I could just throw stuff at you, just take that out, just ignore it, carry on as if I intended it all along. Okay, so, Comstock, Carl.
Yeah.
Comstock came in swinging.
Yes.
Yeah.
Daddy Comstock.
Yeah, that's that became something. But yeah, Comstock's arc did not go the way I expected it to.
Oh.
I genuinely intended to have him be far more combative and far more abrasive to start with, but then just everyone was just so cool. It just they just wore him down very quickly.
Yeah, I remember you saying that you were kind of coming into it with, well, going to be this like arrogant, stuffy knight, but he's just a nice dad, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
He's a nice boy.
Yeah, so it really didn't go the way I intended. The fact he just ended up having this far more heroic journey. You know, the Willy won't he with literally everyone by the sounds of it. And then obviously he's ending thankfully with Galena.
I mean,
it was just.
He definitely ended up being like the David Hasselhoff of
You
New
mean
York.
You mean he ended up with Victor, Carl?
That's right.
What is the deputy thing?
Galena,
We understood. We understood what's going on.
Galena was gone for a while, so and Comstock had needs.
Amazing.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Because I mean, like Comstock's whole thing from like episode 1 was like, I'm going to be a knight, and then just U-turning on that.
Yeah,
that was an interesting one. Sheldon Instructor question in, so I'll quickly throw that in after I've wrapped up here. Lane, your arc familiar, did that end how you thought it would? Did she finish where you thought she would?
The only way it finished that I thought it would was that she was going to leave at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I had it pretty much planned from the beginning that if she still had the book, even about a third of, like a 3/4 of the way in, she was just going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then she got crit and ate shit in Echo Boss there. So I was going to say, from that point, she had to like massively retake in everything. And she basically told me how she was going to react at that point.
That's fair. Because that like Milia, the book was quite defining for Milia, so not having that after episode 14.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a big turning point. Just real we'll swing it round. Meg, hi Meg.
Meg stand-in, yes.
Did you see Addie's arc? I mean, I don't think anyone could really have guessed how Addie.
No, I don't.
No,
I don't
She
think
died,
it was
Dan.
possible.
Dan, she died.
Dan, she died, didn't she?
First she died, now she did.
I think I personally didn't foresee kind of her direction going into that kind of becoming like a sort of spirit of the forest, sort of almost demigod type. Becoming the essentially the mother of dryads. It's I think it makes so much sense, and it fits so very well, which is one of the beautiful things about cooperative storytelling. Of course, you might go into a campaign thinking, okay, I'm going to create this slightly wide-eyed keeper who has never really been able to hear the voice of the forest and is wondering why, and has kind of left her tribe and wants to sort of find herself in the natural world, and then you end up with being, and actually it all turned out she surpassed her own expectations of herself, everyone's expectations of her.
I mean, I don't
through
think...
tragedy, like through the sort of losing. She lost. Addie died, and Dryadia was born, something new. I thought that was really beautiful.
What was really interesting, I'm sure Meg won't mind me saying, is that she was actually a bit torn over kind of where to go with Addie, because Addie was designed as a bard druid. And Meg was saying, I don't know whether to lean into the bard or lean into the druid. And I think she was at level 4, so she was literally 2 and 2, like bard 2, druid 2. and her like Addie meeting an untimely end was legitimately natural. Like, if you go back and see, you can see me realizing that there's a sequence of events that have to unfold in order, given everything that's currently happening. And yeah, there's that point. I think you might be able to pinpoint the moment where I realise Attrac's going to kill her.
You can see it on everyone's faces.
He's got to execute her. Like, he's not... Like, to not execute her in this moment would betray the character of Attrac. So, yeah, there's that moment where I think, oh, God. Because I think the majority of Games Masters don't want to off one of their playing characters.
Sometimes you have no choice.
Sometimes you got to keep them in line, Dan.
Sometimes, yes, yeah. Keep you in order. No, but yeah, that was a moment I was just like, as a storyteller, like,
you can't pull that punch,
this
can you?
is the outcome that's got to unfold. And then like, beautifully, yeah, as you say, with the genesis of Dryadia, it kind of, that question, like Meg's question, kind of resolved itself, which was very, very nice.
Actually,
Lovely.
I thought it was such an interesting character for that to happen to as well, because you know, most of our characters, to one extent or other, we've been through our major life events, we've had our damage, we are trying to make up for it or get away from it or recover from it or whatever. Whereas Addie is just, she's right at the start of this kind of classic hero's journey. It's like if Luke like gets off his home planet and then is immediately blown up. And it's like, okay, now what?
Yeah, precisely.
So yeah, I really like the arc for her in the end.
Really, really interesting twist. So just to quickly throw out Sheldon's question. So we'll do a quick fire round. Anton, what was your proudest moment, both big and small?
Proudest moment. I really liked the fish people segment with Victor. That's great.
People.
Yeah,
When he
Can't not mention the fish people.
I think it portrayed the gradual degradation that Victor went through as the episode went through. Like, he was, I think, steadily losing his mind.
Yeah.
But it was mostly because I was having more and more fun making him even crazier than before. So just escalating it.
And it in turn prompted a surprising amount of behind the camera like world building. I was just like, oh God, what is a Croak? Oh God. Like,
who are the Croak? Who are you Croaks?
Tim.
Yeah.
What was your proudest moment, big and small?
Oh, I don't know. It's hard to answer, really. I think I liked having the chance to, in the Crystal Forest, when we were having those illusions, just be like, you know what? Given what's happening, I'm just gonna fail this.
Yeah.
Because it was when like who Galena is internally started coming together a lot for me, I think. And like, because before that I think I'd mostly been pushing the sort of, she's just wacky and she's a wacky inventor who doesn't care what happens.
Yeah.
And getting a chance to start pulling through some of that, like, because she's massively damaged, was quite fun. I also liked jumping on a big lobster and stabbing it to death in the head. That was good.
Yes. Yeah.
Glad I could facilitate that.
Thank you very much.
Our just as a public announcement, our backroom engineer Nate has informed us that takeaway has been ordered. Thank you. Thank you very much, Nate. And yeah, we'll do your question in a sec as well. Carl, what was Comstock's proudest moment?
The big one, the duel. I think the duel was just...
That was so fucking sick.
You know what?
So good.
Yeah.
That in every single playtest I ran of that, you got pated.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I helped
pated.
Dan. I helped Dan with a couple of playtests of that fight, and yeah, you were jam. Seriously.
Dang.
Yeah, and the fact it went the way it did, I think, as in the terms of the character of Comstock, I think it was just perfect. His you know, getting to sort of one up his mentor and not being proud of it, being just sort of like, you know, this has to be done. And then obviously then leading on to what happened with Dryadia.
Mm.
And the small moment is the inspiring Davin.
Yeah.
When he made that cracking crit speech.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just the like, you can do it. Oh god, he did it.
There were
Really
a lot
did
of
it.
very well timed crits in this campaign. I must
I
admit.
think both of those moments really show like the strength of TTRPGs as a medium,
Yeah.
because they were both, none of us really came up with what happened there. The dice told us
Yeah.
that some wild shit was about to happen, and
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah. Lane, Millia's proudest moments, big and small.
Biggest one? I think just her entire journey, honestly.
Yeah.
That sounds a little cliche, but I'm saying it anyway. And actually, the biggest thing I was proud of her for was kind of taking on that role of therapist initially.
Yeah.
She did not want to do that.
Yeah.
She's a relatively antisocial person, but she's respected that like people are looking up to her because of who she is and how she was chosen, and just decided, I need to step up to this.
Yeah. Fair.
Small, leaving the note in Haldrad's tent.
What your boozy wine date?
Yeah.
Yes. Haladradis. That's maybe Haladradis is going to be an answer to a couple of your for next question. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's a firecracker. Okay.
What was while we're on the Haladradis tent, what was melting all the food, Dan? We never found it, Dan.
Well, maybe we'll come back to that in a sec.
Oh.
So to finish off Sheldon's round, Meg, what was Addy/Dryadia's proudest?
What are you
moments?
asking
What the
me?
fuck?
I can't speak for Meg in any way or shape
Just
or form.
channel your inner Meg, and then
Yeah, there you go.
This is ridiculous.
Let the ghost
I
of
think-
Dryadia speak through
I think
you.
for me, watching, I think I was really touched by how wise Dryadia was by the end, and particularly when how kind of wise in the sense of having her reactions to things that were actually very emotional for her, like when Comstock kind of gave her the choice of what should happen to Atrak, and in response to that she gave Atrak a choice. I thought that was I think that is a moment Meg should be really proud of in how she played Dryadia.
yes,
Just a very measured, emotionally intelligent character, which fits for the kind of character she was playing.
100%. Okay, well, thank you all. We are going to move on to next big question. So we're going to go backwards. We're going to start with Meg. What was
Oh god.
what was your favourite bit of the campaign? So whether it was like a character bit, a plot bit, like a twist.
Boy.
Like, what was your favourite? Oh my god! Moment.
I think probably my favourite was the Viktor Yakov reveal. I thought it came so far out of left field, and yet it made so much sense when you looked back. And I thought it was. I'm a sucker for those really dark, delicious, world upturning kind of twists. And for Victor to go from the bumbling uncle to who's like, oh, the fish people, oh, let's smoke something, to actually my mind is fractured and I've invented an evil alter ego who I've pressed responsibility onto for the murder of my wife. I thought that was absolutely excellent.
Yeah.
And Anton, can you say anything, just I know I'm sort of bouncing this around a bit, can you say anything about how you came up with that?
So, the Viktor Yakov reveal. So originally, Yakov was a separate person. At the start of the
Right.
campaign, I said Victor's hunting Yakov. Yakov killed his wife. That's why Victor's hunting him. So it's just like typical, I'm gonna go hunt. And then I started scratching. I'm like, something's missing here. Like something needs to be a bit more tragic. I need to dial it up. And then I went, hold a minute. Victor is Yakov.
Victor is
And
his wife.
And Victor killed his wife. Yeah, yeah. And I phoned Dan. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Dan, can we make this work? He's
Yeah.
like, different voice. I'm like, yeah. So
The
Yeah.
change.
So it was not planned.
The change
That's what I love about
that
it.
made Victor Izyakov happened about less than a week before we recorded that episode.
Oh my god.
What? I mean, that explains why it was like so subtle.
Yeah.
I thought you'd
This
done
is
an
what I
actual
love about
masterclass,
it.
Anton.
Yeah.
And thankfully, yeah, Anton and I were able to sit down and go, right, okay, like, we need to go back and we need to understand everything that has transpired, because, like, Yakov had been in the campaign, like, albeit in sort of, like, elsewheres, but, like, his presence was around, and Victor's presence was around, so it's just like, how can we make this plot twist work? How can we make this plot twist work? How can we make sure this retcon doesn't create plot holes? And yeah, we managed to thread the needle to the point where actually, like, when it landed, and it was believable and it was impactful.
Yeah.
And I think those are usually the best kind of plot points.
Yeah.
And
Very much
thankfully,
so.
that's all because I feel that's all down to the fact that all of us are quite open with our storytelling. So there were just like enough hooks to grab onto and tie together to make it, like, to sell.
Yeah, and I knew that I got not being in the campaign. I kind of was privy to these conversations going on between Dan and Anton in the run up to that recording, and I think that is one of my favourite things about that reveal is how well it worked. But actually, the fact that even Anton didn't know until so late, and like, what better way to make sure no one sees it coming? You didn't even see it coming as the player until the last minute. I think
Not
that's
even the
wonderful,
DM
and the
knew
fact
it
that it
was
worked
coming.
so well.
But you know, there's a crazy moment, I think around episode 12 in Ekabosdir, when the villagers of Ekabosdir say, listen, somebody's been killing our people. And this was before we decided on the Victor Yakov split. And Victor goes, yeah, you know what? Maybe I did the killing. Like, yeah, watch that part.
It's things like that.
And
like,
it all linked back then afterwards, but at the time, it wasn't intentional.
we're genuinely saying it in jest, but it's things like, okay, so you said that, but then, so we've got to add that into the mix and go, what? So even all the way back to when you first met the Chimera and you had the fight on the ravine with the rope bridge that snapped. And I think it was either Galena or Comstock that kind of asked the other, how does this guy, pointing at Victor, how does this guy know the train so well?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing out here. But he knew it because he was Victor, like, retroactively, because he was Yakov, and therefore he was working with Atrak, which meant that he was in the area. So, yeah, all of that taken into consideration. Really, really good plot twist. Tell you what, I'm going to break the cycle and actually circle around to Anton. What was your bit? What was your favourite bit?
I was actually going to say that bit, the one we just discussed.
I stole it from you.
Yeah, listen, the Comstock arc was really, really good. I don't know if that's a bit, but Comstock was the daddy the party needed. He was there, and his evolution as a character was splendid. So I enjoyed all the bits with Comstock, and he just created all this warm relationship with the whole group. Which I really appreciated.
I felt like the dynamic between Comstock and Haladradis was an interesting one, because they were both like bull-headed, stubborn sticks in the mud, and then they were clashing on everything, but like those two characters that were traveling along a very similar path diverged and went in different directions, in what felt like quite a natural way. So I thought that was quite nice. Just pick up the pace. We're going to swing round to Tim. What was Tim's favourite the bit?
Well, my Victor betrayal has been stolen. My Comstock jewel stolen out of my little tiny lips. Oh, what else was good?
That
I.
was it.
Good.
That was it. That's actually
they were the
40
highlights.
plus
that's
hours
it.
That's
of
true,
content.
sorry,
just
the rest
those,
of it.
actually, yeah.
You might as well just skip the rest of the campaign, to be honest, and rewatch. No, there was too much that was amazing. I
Thank you.
also liked. The whole Mr. Dribbles arc is some of the hardest I've laughed for a while.
Fuckers.
Mr. Dribbles is amazing.
I mean, Mr. Dribbles the horse and Horse the bear.
I mean, some great naming
Correct.
conventions.
I don't remember whether I came up with that on stream or off stream,
What?
but I'm so glad Horse the Bear stuck.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And like a small part of me died every time I had to say Horse the Bear.
I mean, that was about 70% of what kept us going on it, I think.
Yeah. Well, but then Horse the Bear dying being quite a catalyst. That was, well, I mean, I think actually I say it was a surprise. No, D&D parties will always get attached to the silliest of NPCs.
Justice for Horse.
Yes.
Justice for Horse, justice for Dribbles.
Just as usual. Okay.
Oh, I know a bit actually that hasn't come up. I actually really liked the funeral for Addy as well.
It's always quite poignant when you do the funeral scenes, because I think that's a very important part of character death, because I think a lot of the time there's a lot of attention focused on that. Oh, who's going to replace your old character? But actually, we need to. It's nice to spend time going through and honouring what was in a world where the resurrection is rampant.
And if I can be so bold as to have an honourable mention as well, just another Galena bit that I enjoyed was when she was talking to Milia about what she'd been through. Basically, that was
Drawing those parallels.
That was really good to do.
Amazing stuff.
That's one of my favourite bits as well. That speech.
Thanks.
Carl, slim pickings now, but what are you going with?
It is slim pickings, literally everything I wanted to see. Else I was like, all right, I'll say that. It's gone. I thoroughly enjoyed how the redemption of Victor turned out, because I had that in my mind of how I wanted to deal with it, and the fact it played out that way, I was so happy. But I was talking to Tilda during that point, because I kept calling up different things, and I was like, none of these are working.
Is this the scene in the stables?
In the
Crystal
we had a break. I ran downstairs to make a cup of tea, and as I was making it, I ran into the lounge to Tilda. I was like, quickly, Tilda, tell me something important about Victor. And she was like, his wife. And I was like, and then literally, as we come back from the break, the first thing I go is like, remember your wife! And that's the one that worked. So
Tilda, you've been paying attention, right?
Well done, Tilda.
I really enjoyed the redemption and just the way Victor went from it was Yakov to then just suddenly that moment of watching the mask fall away. I was like, I killed my wife. It was just as a scene, it was just so well done, Anton.
Really good.
And then again, spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched the finale, then getting to see Victor as like the deputy of New Prosper, and actually having that chance to keep redeeming himself, and has probably actually in that year become a respected member of that community. I just love the redemption of Victor.
Well, I mean the whole Victor bit, like I kind of truly tucked myself into the idea of this. It's like, okay, Victor's going to get, like Victor Yakov, whatever he's going to get, his just desserts. And then you can look at the dice rolls, and it's just like that outcome purely based on that. Like, we kind of weren't fudging it, because there's that point, and the fact that it came down to a Laravar re-roll of a 1.
In Laravar re-roll.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
1 to a 20.
Yeah. So just kind of like you can see you can see me rolling the dice every time someone mentioned something from Victor's life. I was rolling at the start of his turn to see it was a wisdom check, And then he was passing them up until when you said, "What about your wife?" And then he failed, which is why he stopped and reverted to Victor. And then he rolled the 1 on the intelligence check, and that was like a flip, because Galena, you were trying to like make him remember, and he failed. So Victor was just gonna be like, "Oh, I don't know what's happening," and then we re-rolled into a 20, like a nat 20, and it was that point that I looked at him and went, "There is absolutely no way I cannot honor that."
Yeah.
Victor's back, like Yakov is gone.
Yeah.
I
It was
thought
really
you were going
annoying
to kill
for
him.
Galena because, God, she just
Yeah.
wanted him to be a crazy bastard she could melt.
Yeah, well, it literally was like that was the most well-timed one of the most well-timed nat 20s in the campaign. There was just loads of them, loads of 20s that were really, really well-timed. Amazing. Lane, what was yours/Milia's favourite bit?
I think it was a very, for me, it was a very kind of like understated moment. It's when Amelia was feeling really rough, and Comstock just came up and comforted her and tells her, like, "You're doing amazingly. Everyone here looks up to you, and I'm here if you need it." That was Amelia's most like impactful thing, I think, happened to her.
Do you remember where in the campaign that was? Because it's so understated, I'm not even sure which scene you're talking about. Like, do you remember roughly where it fell in the order of events?
Must have
I
been
think
early.
it might have been before we ventured into the Crystal Forest.
I think it was just
Right.
around then.
Because
Okay.
I think that's the short where it's like, let's have a conversation, and everyone just keeps following them in.
Yeah.
That was so
I think it was
funny.
around then.
Yeah. I remember that.
The private meeting, yes.
Just let them get it out of their system, and they'll be fine.
Amazing. Okay.
I'll do an honorable mention as well, because of the sheer amount of dread you made me feel when you first cut to the Milia's pursuers.
Oh, the Tamari.
Yeah.
They were ugly.
Well,
They
that was the Tamari. They were a product of on the fly world building, weren't they? When on first contact, me going, "This is a terrible design. They can evolve now." Because that just like apex predators that can change their form to best suit hunting their prey. That seems horrifying.
It's very, very Beast of Malar.
Very good. Yeah, very good call.
From Cormier, yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick fire round on Nate's question. Starting with Lane. Was there one NPC you wish you could have got to know more,
Haldratus.
and why?
Easy. Milia liked her. Like, quite a lot. She genuinely wanted to get to know her more.
She was just she was a rose, wasn't she? Just
I didn't say she was a good person.
covered in thorns. She had a soft, gooey inside. Yeah, Haldratus.
Yeah, and I think it was because she did not show that to anyone else apart from Milia.
Yeah.
And Milia just went, "Okay. No, I've been seeing this wrong."
Yeah, I guess with... well, I can be honest with it. I can say this out loud now. So
Yeah, you can.
part of like Haldratus's thing was just like she's spent she's just spent a big chunk of time commanding armies. Like everyone is a resource. So kind of and also she's a wizard, so she's got that kind of natural aloofness anyway. Like, I wield the power of gods, you do not. Like, I'm better than you. So she was almost like the closest old school wizard trope that I've ever kind of really rolled out. And yeah, but like tempered by the fact that she's got the secret mission to wrest her sister from the clutches of an evil, maniacal madman called Atrak. But that is below, you are below, you're not worthy of knowing about that. That's just for me to know. That was her whole shtick, which is why, I mean, it came up when you were just like, why is she sending us off on suicide missions? It's because, like, you're the resources for her to use. Because that's how she spent, that's how she saved the world, in her eyes. So, yeah, very, very good call. Comstock, Carl, who...
Mr. Dribbles. Taken
Fuck
way
off!
too soon.
Fuck off!
A talking, acid
That
vomiting
had
horse.
depth.
That was an arc that I wanted to
No, it
see,
didn't.
and the fact
The
that
thing
he was
is-
killed off
here's
just really upset me.
Here's
Just,
the thing. Here's the thing. Even though he could talk, he wasn't an awakened horse. He could just talk, but he was still intelligence too.
we could have pushed up to 3, then 4. Headband of intellect. Mr. Dribbles could have been like the
18
NPC that
intelligence.
saved-
His
yeah,
purity,
the NPC
Carl.
that could have saved Dryadia or
His beautiful
Aladdin.
dumbass purity.
Right, yeah.
Just this hyper intelligent horse bursting through the foliage, and I've come to save you. Blah, blah, blah.
Good lord.
Okay, Mr. Dribbles, I'm
Getting
locking that in.
glorious.
Locking that in. You're not able to say any more on the matter.
Okay.
Tim, who do you wish you could have gotten to know better?
I might have to
is
go with
it Dume?
Haladradis as well, really. Who?
Is it Dume?
Well, obviously, my heart says Dume. If I could, I'd have spent every
heart?
episode with him, but it simply
Aw.
isn't
Oh, yes.
possible.
Yeah.
But my head says Haladradis because I think that her and Galena had quite a bit in common in a way.
Mhm.
They could both be quite arrogant, both quite single-minded in their pursuit of what they're trying to work on. Both, yeah. I think that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
But and maybe knock and box so I could figure out which was which.
Even Dan doesn't know which is which.
I genuinely don't know. They were always just knock and pock. Insider knowledge: Dume was on the chopping block in episode 14.
No.
Battle of Ekabosdir.
So at that point, when I knew, well, in my prep for episode 14, I knew that Yakov was going to make an appearance, but like from the shadows because he's a sniper, right?
Yeah.
And he was going to off Dume.
Oh my god.
And but then when Anton came along and said, "Oh no, actually, Victor is Yakov," that caused Victor to be delayed, like dealing with Dryadia, and therefore Yakov spawned in Kolora's Grove rather than like near Atra. So he didn't have time to get back to Ekabosdir, so I had to scrap that. But yeah, he was gonna like start the ritual and then get popped.
What we're saying is Victor saved Dume. That's what we're saying.
Basically.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
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 I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Am I hearing this right?
Hashtag Victor did nothing wrong. Yeah.
Myself as all of us.
Yeah.
Write it down in the chat, please.
Anton, who do you wish you could have got to know better? I think I know who you're going
Easy.
to say. Yeah.
The fish people.
Yeah.
People.
What was their deal?
Cora.
So
What was their society like? Who was their king or queen?
I mean,
So-
Vic did get to know them
What was
better.
yeah.
I don't think they had a deal.
I think after the year, yeah.
So here's the thing, like where we're kind of developing the world of Elsewhere as we kind of go, I've kind of got this thing against like humanoid creatures that are intelligent but like aren't playable, if that makes sense. And like, because I really disagree with the concept of like monstrous humanoid races, like
Same.
old school kind of D&D used to do. Because there's like, but then I kind of got into a bit where I was like, oh, I want these kind of aquatic creatures, like humanoid-esque creatures, but like, if they could talk to you, there's arguably nothing stopping anyone going forward going, I would love to play a Croak, actually. And me being like, well,
Dan?
Actually, Dan, season
I can't
3
guarantee
that's-
So, categorically,
All crooks.
on the stat block, like the stat block, I can't remember which stat block I grabbed for to kind of build as a skeleton, but then I took the intelligence, dropped that to 2. Like,
You
Which
can still make a wizard with that. That's what I'm saying.
but so, like, they're clever enough to be able to, like, poke things with a stick, but otherwise they've got no communication, they've got no higher function, there is it's basically like a pug, a sea pug with a spear. Like, that is a Croak.
But emotionally, we could communicate. That's what's important.
Sure.
You can communicate on a charisma level.
Yes. Okay, so I knew you were going to say crack. So thank you for confirming. And Meg, which NPC
Not Meg.
do you wish had gotten a bit more spotlight?
I also really loved Dume. I thought there was a lot of promise in that character. It's a shame we didn't get to spend longer. But Dume's already come up. So I was thinking about this just now. Up until the whole Viktor Yakov reveal, where Anton relinquished his character effectively, but one of I think probably my favourite NPC was Frinker. And so if that hadn't happened and Anton had not taken Frinker up as his player character, I probably would have finished the campaign going, I want more of Frinker. But actually, it was a delight to see Anton play Frinker. And I think you took up that pre-established, cheeky, whimsical personality and played her so well. I absolutely loved your turn as Frinker.
You fell into Frinker scarily
like a
good.
glove.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like she already had some of the weirdness built into her that had crept into what was his name, Victor. So
yes, yes. No, you.
Yeah.
I
just put the sass up to 100 and just stay there.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I mean,
But she's got that cheeriness to her that you also embodied really well.
yeah. I mean, it was
Like she loves what she does.
Frinker was primarily based on a player character that I played for a relatively short time in a Curse of Strahd campaign, Etelina. And yeah, I just thought, the Etelina character as this hunter, as this scout, and then she's just looking at this old Lorivar that's just rolled in, smells like dung, and just what is this? Yeah,
because they had such a cute rivalry, didn't
Yes.
they, Victor and Frinker?
yeah.
I loved it.
And sorry, going back to the whole Yakov thing, even that, just like without just as a gag, just having when Frinker was still NPC, me saying, "Oh, he goes out all the time. He just never brings anything back," and then we look at that and go, "Well, that's because he's Yakov. He's not hunting. He's Yakov.
He's off out doing murders.
Yeah.
One of my favourite lines was the "You've got no blood on you, girl." Well, that's because I use a bow. That was so quick.
Frinker, I was so
that was great.
happy with that.
Yeah.
I could channel it. It was good.
So, we've got a question from Chris Locke. Is there a moment you really wanted to happen that didn't because of a dice roll or something else? And this includes me. I wanted to kill Dume. I wanted to kill... No,
Fair and benevolent DM.
there's... something that didn't happen because of dice roll. I'm gonna
Or anything else.
or anything else. I'm just gonna have this as open season, so feel free to just shout out things as you think of them. Anything that didn't happen.
I got one.
Yeah, go on.
But it's like so Victor actually has an ability on the first round of combat. He can roll with with advantage and shoot twice. Well, he can definitely shoot twice instead of once. I think I used that ability once.
Don't worry, I think I used
because
it more for
every
the
single time the combat had already started, and it was like, oh, can we actually reach? Or there's like an issue with actually reaching the combat.
Yeah.
That ability never.
I mean, I think in general, I was quite happy with how things... I was surprised by a lot of outcomes, but pleasantly so. I know it's a bit of a cop-out answer. But I can distinctly say there were moments in Cormier where it's just like, I've got something in mind, and then the dice just betrayed me. In inverted commas, are similar to the Comstock Carla duel. Like I say, I was 100% expecting to puree you, but then Comstock just showed up. And he took names, and there was a point that it was just there, 100%. I was just kind of joining in on the hell yeah train, but that's what I mean. The fact that Comstock winning that combat, then leading to you going to rescue Addy by jumping
Yeah.
through the portal. Like all of that,
yeah.
like that whole
Yeah, it was not planned.
snowball avalanche happened because the dice didn't pan out. But I'm thrilled that that was the outcome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't think it would have been anywhere near as thrilling to watch if it had have just become pulp.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
fact that just that constant, just every time that Carla thought she had the advantage, she didn't, and it was just bop bop bop, and
Yeah.
then the jumping through the portal. I'm just just wouldn't have been as rewarding if it had gone any other way.
Yeah, and going from like such a high of absolutely bodying your mentor to then being kind of, a smidge responsible for your friend getting killed. Like that roller coaster was great.
Oh yeah, about that. Yeah, Comstock did kill Addy.
Did
No,
kind
no.
of.
Atrak killed Addy, and
I mean, he did
There's
warn
nothing
you
wrong.
what he was about to do.
He was like, if you come any closer, I'll kill her. And you're like, oh, I'm going to come closer. Here I come.
I mean, I did Captain America him as well, though. I mean, they shield him in the face, So I thought
Okay,
for a
cool.
second maybe I had a chance to save Addy. Again, it was one of those things that if that roll had have gone wrong, then yeah, sure, I could have turned around and been like, yeah, I fucked up there. The fact they got him in the face with a shield, I was like, yes, I have a chance here. And as Dan said, I think it was Addy rolled a nat 1 somewhere.
Oh
So
yeah, even the
Addy
fact that she was
all
dead
on
was down to a roll. So
Yeah, there was nothing I could have done to save Addy because she was already
yeah,
down. But if that nat 1 hadn't have happened, there may have been a chance. I could have actually saved Addy.
so obviously
I think you could have tried harder, Carl. So,
as viewers you couldn't see it, but but again behind the scenes, so Addy was on 0 death saves because I kind of never expected the action to return to that scene. Like in my soft notes, it was like, oh, Atrak's gonna like kidnap Addy. He's gonna take her hostage. And then everything spiraled out of control, which led to him going, me going, well, he has to kill her. But he made a successful melee attack on her, which is 2 failed death saves. So privately, in the episode when I say to Meg, please roll me a death save, but make it GM only, Meg rolled a 3. So she, if she had passed, then Atrak would have bamfed like he did and dropped Addy, but Addy would have had 1 remaining save to make. Like if she had passed that roll, she wouldn't have been dead. But 3.
Does anyone else? Oh, Dan, could you repeat the last few seconds of what you said? Your audio cut out.
Okay, no, so yeah. So Atrak gave her a guarantee 2, and then I asked Meg to roll that private death save, and she rolled a 3, which meant that Addy was dead. But if she had rolled a 10 or more, then Comstock, he would have reached that, and she would have been alive.
Dang.
So yeah, even that was like the dice told the story rather than were the final determinant of the story. In the interest of time, I'm going to do a very quick, a real quick buzz around. So I'm going to say I'm going to name one of the players, and then you've got to answer the following question. I'm just typing it in chat. Oh! That's not how you type.
Where's the chat?
Don't worry, I'll say it out loud.
It's on YouTube.
What's the?
Which, if you're not on YouTube anyway, you're not waving the flag there, Anton.
I was.
So,
and my phone died.
starting with Anton.
Oh, I'm ready. Maybe.
Coitus, betroth, disintegrate.
Fuck off.
Right. Hold on. Give me a second.
So,
Or just Comstock.
and it's got to be player characters. So you Coitus, Comstock.
Yeah.
Is this in character or out of character?
Yes.
Yeah. Betray Hell
Betrothed.
No,
Betrothed.
Betrothed.
And player characters.
Oh wait, no, betrothed. No, I don't. Oh no, betrothed Milia. Betrothed Milia.
Okay, and disintegrate.
Gorgeous Comstock and disintegrate. Horse the bear.
No, got to be
Yes!
a player character. Got to be a player character.
Player character controlled by Addy is a player character. Thank you very much. Well done.
No. You've got
Unacceptable.
you've got Galena, Addy, Dryadia, Milia, or Comsort. Actually, you've got to choose between Galena and
All right.
Addy
All right.
to disintegrate.
Well, Disintegrate.
Frinker
Disintegrate.
Victor as well.
Yeah. Disintegrate Addie because she dead anyways.
Okay.
Wow.
Big
Tim.
funeral.
Tim, who would you coitus betroth disintegrate?
I mean, I guess probably marry Comstock, seeing as that seems to be maybe what's happening anyway.
Good deal. Good
So,
deal.
who would get the
So,
cheeky
whatever.
coitus beforehand? On the Henry?
Good question. I think. All right. Here's the problem.
Uh-huh.
Milia and Addie probably both remind her too much of her kid for them to really be options that she'd consider.
Yeah. So
she's gonna, I reckon, coitus Frinker because I think she's curious, you know. And disintegrate Victor because, like, I mean, you know, nearly did anyway.
Sure. Okay.
True.
Okay, we'll let that one slide. Meg, coitus betroth disintegrate.
You're not giving up on this, are you?
I think coitus Frinker because she's cool.
Yeah.
Marry Galena because
Yeah.
she seems dependable and capable and just a little bit scary, which I quite
Just
like.
don't drink the tea.
Just don't drink the tea. And disintegrate. That's a really tough one. I don't wanna. I don't
No, you
feel
gotta.
that's fair.
You gotta channel your inner Meg. Meg.
My inner Meg.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked.
It's gotta be Victor.
Why though?
He did kill her.
Okay, fine. Fine.
Is everyone going to disintegrate Victor because he did the naughty?
He
Okay.
did wrong.
He's a
I thought
naughty boy.
He redeemed himself though.
Kill a few
Comstock.
people. No.
Or Carl, rather.
Who's
Victor?
Carl/Comstock coitusing, betrothing, and disintegrating?
Victor,
Yep.
Galena,
Yeah.
Yakov.
Nah,
Hey.
Yakov wasn't a play character.
And
Kinda
Anton
was,
is
though.
they kind of were, because they were
Kinda
kind of part of
was.
the same character.
I'm vetoing that.
As Anton has rightly said.
I think it works. I'm okay with
Oh, that
this.
sounds like
Yeah,
a
no.
cop out.
It is not a
Okay.
killer.
Lane. Coitus, betroth, disintegrate.
Oh, fucking hell. I was thinking about it the entire time, but
We know
Galena.
it's Frinker.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
Galena.
Other way around.
Okay.
Wait.
Ooh.
Frinka,
There you
Galena,
go.
Victor.
Oh,
Yes.
samesies.
Classic.
Victor's got
Classic.
such a target on his back.
Wonder why. Dan.
The thing is that I wanted to bring up though, like at the end, Milia wasn't joking at the end. She'd never been kissed before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, bless her.
Stolen hearts,
she had-
Anton.
She had coitus before.
No.
Yeah, just no kissing.
Amazing. Okay. Well, as we're wrapping out, if anyone else has got their opinions on coitus, betroth, disintegrate, and want to pop that in the chat, that would be wonderful. So we're climbing up to an hour. So at this point, year one has lasted approximately 43 hours. And I think it's time to lay this old Bessie to rest. Don't you? Don't you agree?
No.
Sadly.
Oh, it's upsetting because it's been
Live on in our hearts
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
and on YouTube.
It has been, yes, and there's been a lot of things that I've certainly taken away from it. That's going to inform future things, like future adventures.
Dan, what is next? What's
Well,
after episode 1?
I can proudly confirm that there will be a season 2.
Hey!
There will be
yeah.
a campaign 2.
Okay.
And I can confirm that it will be announced at some point in the future.
Hey.
That's an announcement.
That is an
It's
announcement.
This better not be like when
Um,
they announce the next Elder
They're
Scrolls and it's
announcing
like
the
10 years later now.
Yes, yes.
Or like
I-
Half-Life 3.
No,
The-
but if it's anything like Starfield, I don't want to hear
the
about it.
code name for campaign 2 is GTA 6. I'm
So
really
it's never happening.
I'm really hoping
got a
that that's
trailer on
going to.
Tuesday.
I'm going to tempt fate, and GTA 6 will eventually get released. No, campaign details on campaign 2 will be coming out in short order. It's just currently I find myself somewhat busy because as of recording, it is the 1st of December. And as someone who does not like chocolate, I feel like I regularly miss out on the frivolities of an advent calendar. Which is why every day of Christmas this month, I'm going to be releasing something in the run-up to Christmas.
You're a man.
Ooh.
I've said it now. I've said it live. It's happening. So this live stream is the release.
Rein him in.
This is the release for the first, but make sure to come back to the Explorers of Elsewhere channel every day in the run-up to Christmas for new releases.
And we'll give you chocolate. That's what you're saying.
And
It's like an EOE calendar. Is that right? Dan?
EOE
That's
advent
it.
calendar.
Ooh, I like it.
As we move into the new year, expect to see more details on campaign 2 if I survive.
That's true. That's true.
So
Carl, you've got to cancel your plans to kill him.
I have no plans to kill him.
So with all that said, I would like to extend a final thank you to the players of Campaign 1. Year 1 was a fantastic campaign. I enjoyed every moment of it. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. And for anyone who's watching now or at some point in the future, anyone who watched Campaign 1, listened to Campaign 1, thank you so much for indulging in this crazy little fantasy. I appreciate and love each and every one of you.
All you
and-
Deliveroo drivers.
Thank you,
Delivery
Dan.
drivers. Yes, thank you.
This campaign.
Yes, yeah, first campaign in the bag. I hope that campaign 2 meets, maybe even exceeds, what we've accomplished in campaign 1. And I hope that you'll be along to join us on the ride. So, thank you everyone who's watching this. Chris, Nate, and Sheldon, at the very least, their names I've seen in the chat. Thank you, you 5, especially you, Meg.
Not Meg.
For jumping in. Yeah, love each and every one of you. And with all that said, stay safe. Make sure to get your coitus betrothed disintegrate comments down below. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications of all of the EOE Advent Calendar releases this month and future releases going forward into 2024. Stay safe. Have a good time. We'll see you later.
Hi, everyone.
Bye.
Ciao.
Oh, I've got to click the button.